Rumors are that Diddy was running some kind of Epstein type deal where he was filming everybody, right?
That's the rumors, yeah. I don't know that there's any proof or anything other than that.
You know, when it comes to rewriting history, it's some try to rewrite history.
Sean Diddy Combs, once a titan in the music industry known for his business savvy and trailblazing role in hip-hop, is now making headlines for troubling reasons. Once praised for his empire-building skills, he now faces a series of serious allegations that could have life-altering consequences. Rumors are swirling about charges of exploitation, racketeering, and even more shocking claims tied to his longtime mentor, Clive Davis. The depth of these allegations is hard to fathom. And if you thought Diddy's biggest battles were against rival rappers in the past, think again. The current situation may be far more damaging.
This is in the matter of Derek Lee Cardello Smith, MDOC number 267009 versus Sean Combs, Sean Puff Daddy Combs, also known as Sean P. Diddy, also known as Diddy, Bad Boy Records label owner.
How did it all reach this point? Let's rewind to the beginning and unravel the intricate web now threatening two of music's most influential figures. Diddy, with his larger-than-life persona, has always thrived in the limelight, managing to stay on top of an ever-evolving industry. But behind the scenes, a darker story has quietly taken shape. Now the curtain is being pulled back, revealing secrets buried for decades, threatening to expose hidden truths that could bring down not just Diddy, but also his longtime mentor, Clive Davis.
No training in music.
None.
Did you think you'd be good at this?
I never thought I would have a musical ear. I never thought I'd have...
It's impossible to separate Diddy's rise to fame
from the man who stood behind him.
Clive Davis. If you're familiar with Davis, you know he's a legend in the music industry, with a career spanning decades.
With a career that spans across decades
like Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, and Alicia Keys. But what many don't realize is that his relationship with Diddy goes far deeper than the professional realm. Rumors have long suggested that Davis and Diddy were involved in something far more personal, and according to some, disturbingly manipulative. A connection that may have fueled Diddy's meteoric rise.
I have a very special connection with artists, with music. I certainly know I had it.
At 23, Diddy was working under Andrew Harrell at Uptown Records, but his ambitions were much bigger. He wanted to revolutionize the music industry. Enter Clive Davis, a man with a keen eye for talent and a hunger for innovation. Diddy's bold vision for hip-hop, which he believed could dominate mainstream radio, caught Davis's attention immediately. Their connection sparked a powerful bond that would go on to reshape the music landscape. With Davis's mentorship, Diddy began charting a path to success, moving beyond Uptown Records to build a career that would change the face of hip-hop.
We know some of the big names. I'm just curious if you have any names. You don't seem like somebody...
Well, for number one was Clive.
Here's where things get interesting. While Diddy and Clive's professional relationship flourished, whispers began to circulate about what was really happening behind the scenes. Was it all strictly business? Some sources suggest otherwise. Many believe that Clive, who had recently undergone a personal journey of self-discovery, wasn't just mentoring Diddy. He was exerting a different, more personal kind of influence over him, raising questions about the true nature of their bond.
Self is concerned. I was totally straight until through my second marriage. I've got 4 kids and grandkids.
If you're familiar with Clive Davis's later life revelations from his autobiography, you'll know that he publicly came out as bisexual, speaking candidly about his intimate relationships with men. In his own words, Clive said, "You don't have to be just one thing or another," implying that his connections were deeply personal, regardless of gender. It's not hard to imagine that his relationship with Diddy may have evolved beyond business. Some insiders even suggest that Clive's financial backing of Diddy's Bad Boy Records wasn't purely motivated by business interests. It was a partnership, yes, but with a price, one that Diddy may have paid in ways we can only speculate about.
Never apparent to me. Any meeting I had with her, any interchange I had with her, she was on top of.
Sources have hinted at a romantic entanglement between Diddy and Clive Davis that allegedly lasted around 5 years. During this time, Clive is said to have provided the financial backing that allowed Bad Boy Records to flourish, an essential lifeline for Diddy, who had just been let go from Uptown Records and needed someone with resources and influence to help him rebuild. Was Clive's interest purely professional, or was something more at play? As Diddy's career skyrocketed, so did the rumors about the lengths he was willing to go to maintain his power. Many believe that Diddy didn't just benefit from Clive's mentorship, but may have been manipulated, controlled, and used in ways we are only beginning to understand.
All allegations that have become shockingly familiar against Diddy in recent months, as he has faced lawsuit after lawsuit from women and men who have accused him of all men.
It wasn't just Diddy who faced this kind of pressure. Other artists under Clive Davis's guidance reportedly experienced similar power plays, where they felt indebted or beholden to him, unable to escape his influence. One of the most disturbing rumors to surface recently involves a so-called exit clause in artist contracts. If true, it exposes a sinister side of the music industry. This clause, allegedly hidden deep in the legal jargon of contracts, supposedly allows record labels to profit significantly more from an artist's death than if they continued producing music. Such revelations suggest a darker, exploitative dynamic at play within the industry.
Her body inside this hotel. So far, police and the coroner are refusing to offer details about what may have caused her tragic.
Here's the kicker. Clive Davis, the man who shaped countless careers, has been linked to the exploitation of this very exit clause. It's a chilling thought, but the idea is that some iconic artists, like Whitney Houston, may have been more valuable to their record labels after their tragic deaths. Whitney, one of Clive's greatest successes, is often at the center of these rumors. Clive was instrumental in her rise, guiding her from the beginning and standing by her even through her darkest times. But after her shocking death in 2012, unsettling questions began to surface about the true nature of her legacy.
Purposes of financial gain for those who have access to her estate, including Clive Davis.
Including Clive Davis.
Whitney Houston's return to the stage for her comeback album Asterisk, I Look to You Asterisk, was meant to signal a triumphant resurgence, but it became painfully clear that her voice had deteriorated due to years of personal struggles. Many questioned why Clive Davis, ever the optimist, seemed so eager to push her back into the spotlight despite her fragile condition. Was it truly about helping Whitney regain her footing, or was there something more calculated behind his decision? Musician Danda Gallus didn't hold back when she lashed out at Clive after Whitney's passing. In a fiery post, she accused him of pushing Whitney too soon, calling him a colossal pig who cared more about his profits than her well-being.
I believe that somebody my niece, just like they her mother.
Danda Gallus continued to suggest that Whitney was exploited, with her struggles with addiction turned into a spectacle for profit. She wasn't alone in her criticism. Many in the industry began to question whether Clive had more to gain from Whitney's legacy after her passing than from her ongoing career. The timing of Whitney's death, just hours before Clive's annual pre-Grammy party at the Beverly Hilton Hotel, is hard to ignore. Despite the tragedy, Clive proceeded with the event, raising eyebrows and concerns across the industry.
Part here. And so what the plaintiff in this case did was filed for what we call a temporary restraining order, which would have prevented Diddy, or would prevent him from selling that Los Angeles home. And so we know, or at least we believe, that that TRO was granted to enjoin or stop him from selling that.
How could Clive celebrate when one of his most beloved artists had just been found unresponsive in the same hotel? His tribute to Whitney during the party was emotional, of course, but many felt it was hollow, more a gesture to maintain his image than a genuine mourning of her loss. The fact that the music continued that night while Whitney's body remained just floors away has left a lasting impression on how people view Clive and his priorities. But Whitney Houston isn't the only artist whose tragic end has been linked to these dark industry practices. The notorious exit clause has allegedly been used by record labels for years, with Clive rumored to be one of its biggest proponents. Once artists reach a certain level of fame, they become valuable assets. In the event of their passing, their music and memorabilia can generate a significant spike in sales, resulting in millions, money that flows directly into the pockets of record labels, producers, and executives who control the rights to their work.
Alleged evidence that's been gathered in this case was from those 2 raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles, and the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these performances that have been named.
If these allegations are true, they paint a grim picture of the music industry. If Clive Davis has indeed profited from these exit clauses, what does that say about his relationships with the artists he purportedly supported and nurtured? The implications are staggering and raise even more questions about Diddy's rapid rise to power and Clive's potential role in it. For years, Diddy has been at the center of the hip-hop world, rubbing shoulders with the biggest names in the industry, from the notorious Big to Usher. Yet his swift descent has left many wondering how a young producer, once fired by Uptown Records, managed to dominate the industry seemingly overnight. Was it solely due to his talent and vision, or did his relationship with Clive Davis play a much larger role? If so, what was the cost of that partnership, and what sacrifices were made along the way?
I could be attracted to a man, while I still am very attracted to.
As more individuals come forward with allegations, it's becoming increasingly difficult to dismiss the notion that Diddy's success may have come with strings attached. Some sources allege that Clive manipulated Diddy, using his influence to control not only his career, but also his personal life. This raises questions about the true nature of their relationship and the sacrifices Diddy may have made to achieve his remarkable rise in the music industry.
Has been under criminal investigation for months by federal prosecutors here in New York. And if there are criminal charges, many of them may look a lot like what some of these individuals have been described.
There are even chilling stories suggesting that Diddy was forced into compromising situations as part of his agreement with Clive. One particularly unsettling account comes from musician Jaguar Wright, who has been outspoken about the dark side of the music industry. Wright claims that Diddy's rise was not as pristine as it seemed. Behind the scenes, he was allegedly engaging in behaviors that starkly contrasted with the polished public persona he cultivated. These revelations add another layer of complexity to Diddy's success, raising questions about the true cost of his ascent in the music world.
I believe that there are several people that wanted Bobby Christina, but I think the purpose of her was to gain full access to Whitney Houston's.
Another explosive allegation comes from a lawyer who once worked for Diddy, as recounted by Jaguar Wright. According to her, the lawyer accidentally walked in on Diddy and another man during a business meeting. While the details of this story remain unverified, such rumors continue to swirl around Diddy, further complicating his public image. It's no secret that Diddy has faced accusations of inappropriate behavior in the past, and with legal troubles now mounting, these stories are taking on new significance. The deeper you delve into Diddy's history, the more you uncover a pattern of manipulation, control, and secrecy, traits he appears to have inherited from his mentor, Clive Davis. Some insiders believe that Clive taught Diddy how to maintain his empire not just through talent and business acumen, but through more questionable means, raising serious concerns about the true foundations of Diddy's success.
Things that's going to happen, and I do believe that there has been a grand jury investigation that has been employed in this case. I think there may be a federal investigation going on, and there may be a stateside one, but I'm not totally sure. But one of the things that the prosecution in any case is going to try to do is show that there is a pattern of behavior here. Now,
for instance, the way both Diddy and Clive have reportedly handled artists deemed problematic or too difficult to manage raises eyebrows. There are numerous stories of artists being blacklisted, careers stalling suddenly without explanation, and contracts that appear designed to trap them in unfair deals. This culture of control has created an environment where many feel compelled to stay in line, afraid to speak out for fear of losing everything they've worked for. Such practices contribute to a pervasive atmosphere of intimidation within the industry, making it increasingly difficult for artists to assert their rights and advocate for themselves.
There's no punishment if they protected by the road, the judge.
This brings us back to Whitney Houston and the eerie similarities between her situation and those of other artists who found themselves on the wrong side of powerful figures. As Whitney struggled to reclaim her career in the late 2000s, Clive was there, pushing her to make a comeback even as her health and voice were clearly in decline. Was he genuinely trying to help her, or was there a more calculated reason behind his encouragement? If Whitney had managed to fully recover, would she have been allowed to regain control of her career, or would Clive have continued to pull the strings? Diddy seems to have learned these lessons well. Throughout his career, he has faced accusations of controlling his artists similarly to how Clive managed his. Many former Bad Boy Records artists have come forward over the years, sharing stories of financial exploitation and manipulation. Some have even suggested that Diddy employed tactics akin to those rumored about Clive, ensuring artists remained loyal by keeping them financially dependent or trapped in unfavorable contracts. This culture of silence surrounding these powerful men has allowed such practices to continue unchecked for far too long.
Add all that type of stuff up, and you'll see how the industry been built on the secret room.
Let's dive even deeper into the murky waters surrounding Diddy. If you thought his involvement in shady business dealings was enough to tarnish his image, wait until you hear the allegations linking him to one of the most infamous moments in hip-hop history, the passing of Tupac Shakur. Buckle up, because this is where things take a dark turn. Rumors have circulated for years that Diddy played a role in the events leading to Tupac's tragic end, and recently, these whispers have resurfaced with explosive new claims from a figure named Clive Davis, who was closely involved in the drama during the 90s. In a shocking turn of events, Kef has reportedly confessed in recorded audio that Diddy allegedly offered him a substantial sum to take out both Tupac and Suge Knight, two of his biggest rivals during the infamous East Coast-West Coast feud. Imagine that. Diddy, one of the biggest names in the game, allegedly plotting to eliminate Tupac, who was not only a competitor, but also a cultural icon in his own right. Back in the day, the rivalry between Diddy's Bad Boy Records and Suge Knight's Death Row Records was heating up, with tensions reaching an all-time high. Tupac, as the face of West Coast rap, posed not just a threat to Diddy's business, but also symbolized everything that opposed the Bad Boy empire. This raises serious questions. Was Diddy really capable of such a ruthless move to secure his place at the top? Such allegations, if true, paint a chilling portrait of the lengths to which some individuals might go in the cutthroat world of music.
Problems that the defense has brought up originally, but it seems like, just from reading this 14-page indictment, that there is enough physical evidence to perhaps get a conviction in this case.
Kef's allegations are nothing short of explosive. He claims that during the height of the feud, Diddy offered him a cool $1 million to take care of both Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight. If true, this would mark one of the darkest and most sinister moves in hip-hop history, a calculated effort to maintain dominance in an already cutthroat industry. The timing couldn't be more suspicious. Shortly after these alleged discussions, Tupac was ambushed in Las Vegas, an event that sent shockwaves through the music world. But the drama didn't end there. Just months after Tupac's passing, another tragedy struck. The loss of the Notorious Big, one of Diddy's closest collaborators, and arguably the biggest star on Bad Boy's roster at the time. While many have pointed to the ongoing feud as a reason for Biggie's sudden death, others have raised a different, chilling question. Was Diddy involved in Biggie's demise as well? The series of events surrounding these two legendary figures casts a long shadow over Diddy's legacy, raising serious concerns about the true nature of his ambitions and the lengths he may have gone to protect his empire.
If he's allowed to go through with any of the sales, I won't be able to recoup any of my monies or anything from him as a result of any possible judgment in this action, if he's allowed to proceed with it. And an injunction or a restraining order would help ensure that he's not manipulating and selling the property to a...
It might sound like a wild conspiracy theory, but here's where things get even more complicated. Before his untimely death, there were credible reports suggesting that the Notorious Big was planning to leave Bad Boy Records. Frustrated with financial disputes and eager to gain control over his music, Biggie had reportedly begun distancing himself from Diddy. Sources close to the situation indicated that Biggie wasn't just another artist in the Bad Boy empire, he was the empire. Losing him would have dealt a significant blow to Diddy's business, both financially and symbolically. Hip-hop photographer Monique Bain even went on record stating that Biggie was absolutely about to leave Puff. She emphasized, "I know for a fact because he told me." Others echoed this claim, stating that everybody wanted to leave Puffy and that everybody leaves him. This paints a troubling picture of an empire built on shaky ground, where loyalty was earned not through mutual respect, but through manipulation and control. As the layers of Diddy's dealings unfold, the question remains, how far was he willing to go to maintain his grip on power?